Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at criticalblast.com. And we are here tonight to get back into the world of crowdfunded comics. And before we do that, we had talked about a crowdfunded comic just the other day, and I wanted to thank everybody. We were looking at Omni on Kickstarter. Omni is a product by J.W. Sims, and it was within $450 of hitting its goal this last week, and J.W. was put in the hospital. So he was unable to push his campaign the last week. I don't know J.W. I've never talked with him. I got nothing out of the campaign, but I saw the story, and I'm like, that's got to suck to, not, how hard you have to push your campaigns the last week, especially if they're close to goal. So I've been hitting everybody up about it, watching it like a mother hen. And just 15 minutes ago, it hit the $2,500 mark. It's fully funded. And then suddenly it just jumped up to $2,700. I don't know what happened there. Where were you guys a day ago? But yes, it is funded. So thank you all for participating in that. One less thing for a creator to worry about. And you certainly wouldn't want to be your campaign and be that close and have to start over again. Tonight, however, is not about JW. It is about Luke Stone, and we are going to be talking again about Hybrid, the Sons of God. Now, this is your second book in the series, right, Luke?
Well, technically, it's the sixth book in the series. I have been able to put out kind of issues or episodic pieces of this book so far. The first 5 issues got compiled into the first part of the story arc, so it's volume 1 of a larger story. And so this is part 1 of The Killing Field, which is our second leg of the story. It's kind of a good jumping in point if you haven't read the other books, but you could obviously still go back and get those other books as well. And if you are familiar with the story, then this is a really good expansion to what you already know. So
now, as I recall, this harkens back all the way to the days of the Nephilim and their genetics still sort of playing havoc with the human race.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of the major religions, they do recount a instance where what they call the sons of God, or some people believe angels, they came and saw the daughters of men, liked what they saw. They started to reproduce with mankind. And this created this race called the Nephilim. And those Nephilim predate Greek gods by about 1,500 years. And so they believe that that what we know as the Greek mythology and the Greek gods was actually just exaggerations of real life Nephilim. And so we take that premise and people just start developing powers overnight, kind of out of nowhere. But as soon as they start to develop these powers, someone's coming around and abducting them. And so we learn all about that in the first arc called Trash Day. Makes total sense when you read the book, why it's called Trash Day. People often wonder why. It's because it actually starts on Trash Day. Our main character, the people we kind of, not really our main character, the guy we are introduced into the world to is a trash man, and he's working on that day. So it's Trash Day. And so this is what kind of happens over the course of a 2 to 3 day period of time. So
I always found the Greek and Roman pantheon fascinating because it's like, if there wasn't some sort of real inspiration for it, how did 2 separate civilizations end up with mirror image pantheons of all these characters?
That's kind of the idea, behind why we chose to do, or why I chose to do that kind of concept and that idea. So it was kind of neat, and so we went with it. And
they all got their names changed. I had a old novel I was working on that I ended up not going anywhere with, but it was that the old demigods were still out and about and running amok, but living normal lives. So I had Harry Cleese, and he saw the symbol and he's like, saw a constellation. He had a girl on each arm, and you're like, yeah, it's a constellation there that was related to Heracles. And she's like, oh yeah, they used to call him Hercules. And I'm like, no, they didn't.
No, they didn't. Yeah.
He was like, you stupid Romans, or you stupid Greeks, whichever one it was. Here's my name.
Get everything wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. It's always been Heracles.
Yeah.
Now, you have a video for this one, which I don't remember you having a video for the last one.
Well, I did. I had a couple of videos, and I really like to use video elements and graphics and things like that. It's not one of those things where I like to put a whole lot of words in there. So I do have like my 30-second commercial that just hopefully hypes you up to want to get involved with the book. And then I've got a video that's going to be available for people to watch that kind of gives the story, like kind of where we started, and then one that shows like where we're at kind of thing.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And that'll be on the actual launch page on February 1st.
February 1st, yeah. We're launching at 12:01 Eastern, so I'll hit the go live and then I'll go to bed. And
yes, but it's good that people are getting in on this page with this short of a notice, because I'll show you why in just a little bit. And I'm going to mute myself and play this video.
A group of heroes supercharged with Nephilim DNA are the only thing standing in the way of an evil corporation at the center of a human trafficking ring and elite drug empire. The danger ramps up when a deadly trap is set for our protagonist. It's an epic clash of good versus evil when they meet on the killing field. Be sure to check out the action and get part 1 of the killing field during this 28-day event exclusively on Indiegogo.
You're still muted.
Too many things to click my mouse on to make this smooth.
I once did an entire stream with my mic muted. It was nice video, but not so much with the audio.
Yeah, I've been there too.
Yeah, I see my stepbrother Dragon is in the chats. Man, how's it going, Dragon? Sean Dean's in there too. Hey, how's it going? I love. I like to read along with the chats. One of the things I do. Heroin. Is it Heroinberg? Is that how you say it?
Heroinberg is our resident. He's Mr. Know-It-All.
Well, he is, and he's absolutely right. So Nephilim does equal the fallen in Hebrew, and another word for that is the Anakim, which I do deal with a little bit in a future arc, the last king of the Anakim, and then and we are going to bring in the Sumerian lore about the Nephilim, the Anunnaki. I think that's how you pronounce it. I probably butchering that like crazy.
Anunnaki is how they say it.
Anunnaki? Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Yeah, I told you I was going to screw that up, but it is what it is.
I'm just used to the guy with the wild hair who's always going, I'm not saying it's aliens.
But it's aliens, right? Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah. I love watching his show because it's like you sit down to watch that and you're like, oh, this will be fun to laugh at. And 30 minutes into it, you're like, that makes sense.
It's all of it makes sense. It's all coming together now,
I feel like I'm like, but I binge it sometimes because we'll get the DVDs for review. I'm like, oh, I gotta watch 10 hours of Ancient Aliens. And by the end of it, I feel like I should be in a trench coat prying open a container that says, I knew it. 32 flavors. That's to the question in Justice League Unlimited for those who are out of the loop.
And I just don't mind. I don't mind falling deep into those conspiracy theories. This book and the series, this whole series is kind of, it lives around those things, I'm not sure if people are familiar with this, but the whole idea of the Mormon faith was that this angel comes and presents special information.
Moroni.
Yeah, right? Well, with all the other stuff, I'm like, that's totally one of the fallen angels. I'm like, that's like I totally it's like one of the, all the pieces fit together, and I'm like, I can't wait to write this into a story, but it's going to take a while to get to that little gem.
And you sometimes you wonder how does a story catch on in the minds of people and go on like this, because I would look at something like that and say, if somebody came out of the desert and said, hey, the angel Moroni came down and presented me this book made out of gold with all the words in it. I'm like, where's the book? He's like, well, he took the book back, but I wrote it all down. It's like,
yeah, right. Whatever. Yeah. But I'm a skeptic, I'm one of those people that's like, yeah, show me, Yeah, I wouldn't buy it. I'm like, sure, he did. Of course.
Yeah. And what did he say? He said we can marry as many girls as we want. Okay, sure. I dig it. But you've got the sign up event going on here right now. Yep. This is pre-launch, and here's what you do, folks. You go in here. Oh, wait a second. That's my Gmail catch-all. Everything goes to my Gmail address. And then the .com just kind of funnels it all in there. You go in there, you type in your email address, you click on the I agree to the terms and use, because if you don't, there's no point in typing it in.
Nope.
And then you sign up. And now that I've signed up, once you launch, what happens?
Well, a couple things are going to happen. I'm going to move you into my super secret mailing list that gets, and you will get an email at 12:01 on February 1st. And in this email will be a button that says secret perk. And when you click on that secret perk, you're going to get, it'll take you directly to the campaign, and you'll see a little thing that nobody else gets to see. And for $20, you'll be able to get the cover B, which is the Nitho Diaz cover. You'll be able to get. Did I send you the link to the campaign?
You did, but I didn't bring it up here because I figured,
you're more than welcome to show that to everybody, so they can kind of see what they're a little sneak peek for your crew before this thing goes live. Yeah.
Then let's do that. That's where everything is.
That's true. Justin is right. Dragon has got it. He's on point. You do have to confirm it from your email. So you have to go to your email and it'll confirm that you want to be added to the mailing list. And so
I've never had to do that since the first time I confirmed.
Oh, that's probably true.
Okay, so here we go with the actual. Look at it. We're in at the ground floor, $1,200 fixed goal.
Yep, we're doing a fixed goal. We're not doing a flex goal. It will go in demand if we can hit that goal. But you can look through here. We've got 3 different covers to choose from, and I don't know which one my favorite is. I think it's the Nitho Diaz. I'm bad with pronunciation. But you've got his. Not yet. Actually, there's the covers there. So we've got cover A, which is the one that I did, and then you've got cover B from Nitho. But here's the really cool thing. So back to that secret perk. What'll happen is you will be able to get access to the secret perk that includes cover B, which is a $10 value. It will have the trading card. It will have the chibi sticker. It will have a sketch card. So I have these sketch cards, and I will do an original sketch for you to put in that as well. And then I'm also going to do a holofoil print about the size of a comic book cover of that cover. So it's going to be on holofoil print, all for $20. It really is. But here's the really cool thing. If you do that on day one, so in the first 24 hours, you also get the first day print. There's a chlorine print that was up at the top that you could see. It's a $5 value. That one right there. So you get you get that print, and it's going to be 6.5 by 7. So it's going to be about the same size as a comic book cover as well. And that one might also be holofoil. I'm looking at it right now to see. I think I'm going to get it on some kind of pearlescent paper. So that's going to be really cool. But on day one, if you back, you not only can get that $20, but you get that print for free as well. So that gets put in there. So super big value for that one.
Sign up for these lists, folks, because you get access that other people aren't going to get. And you've got now this is interesting here. This is not part of that perk, but the
it
black.
Is not. Yeah, you could get this as an add-on. It's the black cover. So I was looking at like something neat, like what's people are doing holofoil, lava, or metallic covers. They know all that kind of stuff now. But I was trying to find something that was going to be kind of truly unique. And knowing that this series is called The Killing Field, and I'll be really honest with you, the whatever emotions or thoughts that evokes, it's worse than that. Okay, this story is I've tried to put some humor here in this issue because as we get closer to issue the part 4 of it's getting brutal. So I wanted to do this cover, and I talked with one of my printers, and he said, "Look, that we've doing this thing where it's like a matte paper, and we do a clear coat print on it, and so it's like flat and shiny." And he showed me a couple samples, and I'm like, "That is gorgeous."
So like,
I've got to have one.
You have black and white line art, and then the black part gets done in gloss while the rest of it stays matte.
Yes, yeah. So it's a true black cover, and it will shimmer in the light, and it will look really cool. So it's pretty awesome.
That's gonna be sweet. So you got a backup story in here too. Since we're here, before we hit the tiers, Raj Mahan and Jim O'Reilly are doing a story.
Yep, they did a 2-page backup. It was originally going to be in the trade paperback, but timelines just didn't fall into place right, and so we thought that, let's go ahead and save those 2 pages and make them an exclusive for this issue coming out. So very excited about those pages. It's great. It actually dives into the background of a character that we see in all of the other issues. A guy named Fuji Katakana, and he is he's got a nickname. They call him Mount Fuji because he's got this rock-like skin. So he's a pretty cool character. But you get to see his backstory a little bit.
Okay. Should I scroll down on here, or are you still?
Absolutely no. The whole thing is finished. It's ready to launch. Okay. Like I'm literally just waiting for Sunday night 12:01. I'll hit the go live button, and then I'll send out the email to everyone that has that special link. So they're both scheduled to happen at the same time. So
okay, so I'm looking at a panel here. It just says Red Cape. So
yes, yeah, that's it's just kind of a teaser. We find out that our villains are up to more than just what they thought from the first arc. And there is this new drug called Red Cape, and we get into detail about what that drug is during this scene. So this is where we first learn about Red Cape. So I don't want to give away too many spoilers. I want to make it fun for people to read. So
oh yeah, never spoil it. But it looks like Chlorine's getting married or going to the prom.
That is a wedding dress, yeah.
I like that she's Chlorine and her hair's green.
Yeah,
and I don't even know what the power set is.
Well, I changed her. I changed her costume. A couple of them got new upgraded costumes for this arc, and Chlorine is cute. Yeah, she's she's a cute character. So hopefully people will start to really kind of start to dig her more over the course of the next 4 issues. So she's pretty awesome. And so she got an upgrade in her costume, and her power set is she turns into this kind of like this green gas, and she can like move through, she's a green gas, and it also chokes people out because it's like got the chlorine effects to it.
Oh
and
yeah,
she can do little chlorine bombs, like little like gas pop bombs and stuff. So her power is not as impressive as her skills as a kickboxer. She's a female kickboxer, and so she just she can kick some
turn
tail.
into a gas and back into yourself. That's a very impressive power, because all you got to do is get breathed and then reform, and then whoever you're inside kind of splits apart bloodily.
Yeah, it could be pretty brutal. In fact, she's in part 2, which is written and where it's being drawn right now. So we're working on the art as we speak. You actually get a chance to see her, and then we've got another character who has the ability to turn into shadows, and so you actually get to see the 2 of them fight, and it's kind of neat, So this is weird back and forth, kind of thing.
We got the Game Master.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we find out about him in the first issue, in the first arc. We've learned about him, and so I've had this like 3-volume, like 3-arc storyline planned out for a while. And when we really got into the end of the Trash Day arc, people were like, I just kind of feel like there's this big reveal for the guy, and then he gets chumped. And I'm like, yeah, he did. I said, but he knew about it. Like it's not one of those things where he really got chumped. He's the game master. He's in control. And so in this bit, you learn that the game master is always in control, and that he's never taken off guard.
All right. Got Greg Shane from the Rascals in the chat. What's up, man? Got a lot of lot of creative people out here. A little late for company. Slade Wilson's checking his clock. Yeah.
Yep.
And this is the chibi sticker you mentioned, probably.
Yeah. Yep. That's the chibi. Joe Spicer did that art. He did the art for all of the chibi stickers. You were able to get a pack of 4 of them from the last campaign. But he did. I decided I wanted to do Rascal, and he just went gangbusters on that. That dude is cute, but angry. He's an angry little baby. And,
not the same Rascal, Greg. Totally different Rascal. And then you've got to catch up. This is good. I like the fact that people have, hey, if you missed everything that went before, you can catch up and add on previous book, which would be the graphic novel in this case, Trash Day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can get the standard cover, you can get the variant covers, packs of both of those. So I like the variant covers. I mean, well, that's why I pay for them. I better like them, right?
Oh, sure, of course.
Yeah. And I'm a fan of the dad pack.
Which looks like both covers, the chibi sticker and the cap.
Yep. It also comes with the trading card that's in there. And so every physical perk gets the trading card. So everybody gets that.
Okay, so the swag pack here, this looks...
Dude, it's sick. So it's got a backpack. That's a backpack. It's a hat. It's a coffee mug. And it's a blanket. It's a 60 by 70 inch of throw. It's like that has the Kane and White art from the last variant cover for the trade paperback. And so you get all of that, plus you get the 2 regular covers. The only cover it doesn't come with is the black cover, but you can get it as an add-on. But then it comes with everything else plus the sketch card, and you can get that whole thing for $125. That's a lot of stuff.
Okay, so I saw this one earlier, and I didn't want to mention it because we were kind of on the left side of the page. Be a hybrid.
Be a hybrid.
In a spin-off series, not this series. It'll be another series.
So we focus on a group of hybrids that kind of start going by the name the Watchers. Kind of in in homage to the Watchers that came down, but started causing the whole mess. So
everybody's got Watchers. Buffy's got Watchers. Marvel Cinema.
Yeah. So they kind of take on that. That moniker kind of gets added to them, but that is just this group they're really right outside of Nashville in this place called Franklin, Tennessee. And so they deal a lot with kind of that Midwestern region, but there's people in Florida, New York, California, Mexico, Canada, United Kingdom, Japan. There's hybrids all over the place. People are starting to develop cars all over the place. And so the idea is I want to take I'm building little 6 to 8 page spin-off stories that will revolve around some of these other teams and different hybrids that will eventually merge into a larger universe. And so those will either come out as backup stories in the main books, or they'll come out as through this thing called the Continuum that we're doing with Terraform Comics. And so we've got these different options for releasing these stories. But I thought maybe somebody wants to be a hybrid. Maybe they want to sit down and develop themselves, immortalize themselves in the comic book. And so we already have one character that has been immortalized, and that's Danny. So Danny in the comic book series is actually a real guy. Everything about him is real. How he talks, how he acts, most of his background is all real. Everything's real, So we thought, hey, maybe we can do that for other people, and give them that opportunity. So we do have the Become a Hybrid. I think it's at 150 on that. And you still get all the books too. You get the books and everything.
You'll be an ongoing character.
Yeah.
So it won't be like, you're just showing up to die.
No, you can be a good guy or a bad guy. You have full input on what you want to, like how you want to be represented for the first go. And then eventually, the comic book writer in me will take over. And so,
So here's the thing. Look, it's when you give people so many things, you find out that it's not enough things.
Yeah.
And now the chat is saying that if I get a blanket, I want a pillow, and not just a pillow,
They want a chlorine pillow, yeah.
I want a chlorine waifu pillow.
Okay, chlorine white. All right, Dragon. I will look into a waifu pillow.
I've seen people doing them.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but I have seen them.
Yeah, man, I don't know. That'll be a tough one to deal with. But I could probably do some kind of pillow. We can easily do some kind of pillow. But
you know what you do? You don't do the pillow. You do the pillowcase. That way your shipping doesn't freak out.
Well, the cool thing is all of the swag will actually get shipped from the fulfillment center. So it doesn't bother me. They're set to be able to print and ship at a way lower price than what I can, which allows me to be able to do all of that extra stuff for a lower price for shipping.
That's cool. Yeah. I know I don't do any printing, but we do the distribution. So we're a fulfillment center ourselves. Yeah. But we focus on the UK folk and try to get their shipping costs down by being a drop ship point. We did have a question in the chat too about this guy that I just kind of glossed over, kind of said, "Hey, look, it's Terminator," or Deathstroke. Sorry, he had to change his name. And people want to know now, who is he? Because
that is Danny. Okay, so I told you Danny's a real guy. Danny has the feedback I've gotten is people are like, I'm like, well, who's your favorite character? Is it Trashman? Is it Chlorine? Is it Rev? Who is it? They're like, it's Danny. And Danny is an older gentleman who has no superpowers, and he abides in a wheelchair. But he is so many people's favorite character. It's insane. So, and the thing is, he's my favorite character because he's a real guy. I always tell people, like, well, if you ever come visit me in Jacksonville, I'll introduce you to the real Danny.
And he'll sign books.
And yeah, he'll sign books. He's always trying to pay for books too. And I'm like, dude, you get books for free. Like, I'm using your likeness. You never have to pay for another book again. Like, they're all yours, man.
Now, you mentioned something a little bit ago here. Earlier when we had talked on one of our previous streams, it was, this was a watered down gene that occasionally shows up in people. Yeah. But now tonight you've said that they're popping up all over the place. So my question is, did something happen in Trash Day that is a catalyst for this mass awakening of these recessive genes?
It did, and it's something that for the last campaign I didn't talk about much because it was like a major spoiler. But I can talk about it now since, unless you haven't read that, spoiler alert, you can plug your ears for a few minutes. Basically, what happens is our antagonist, Azazel, has a partnership with other baddies, and you get to, in the next couple of arcs, you get to learn more about those baddies and in those expansion stories, you get to learn about those other partners that he has. But he has found a way to take this the God particle. He's found a way to take God particle radiation and blast that light over a certain area. And what happens is when that God particle radiation interacts with dormant Nephilim DNA, it causes it to wake up and then mutate in some way. And so that's how these are popping up. That's how people are starting to have these powers. So we find out that he's doing that so that he can then go and harvest the hybrids from that region. So it's flood it with the radiation. Hybrids pop up. We go and we get the hybrids and we do with them what we want. And so it's a process.
So you're taking advantage of that Higgs boson.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know what the God particle is. I've read science fiction. It's a real thing too, by the way.
It is, yeah. I try to take as much stuff that exists in reality to put it into this science fiction book to make it interesting.
So the featured perk for the people who didn't sign up, it's just your regular featured perk, is going to be cover B.
Yeah, cover B. Yeah,
and the trading card.
Yep. Everybody that gets a physical book will get the trading card. I typically don't do digital, but I did offer a digital for this one for those that are international people that want to keep up with the story, and maybe they want to wait for the trade paperback when it's all compiled to come out, so that they're only spending $25 on one big volume rather than $25 on smaller volumes.
And we got folks like Robert Roberts, who's not in the chat tonight but might pop in, who is doing survey work in the Arctic Circle in the tundra, and he can't bring white boxes up there, so he likes the digital reads too.
Yeah.
Cover A, just the basics, $7. That's not bad, man. I mean, I say that's not bad. That's like insanely low, is what I should be saying here.
Well, it's a 32-page self cover, so 28 pages of interior content. Not a lot of fluff in there. It's mostly, it's a story. You get one pinup and one break page. So, I mean, the rest is just in-your-face content. So, and $5 shipping. We're shipping this in Gemini boxes, $5 US. So $12 gets you a book to your door.
Yep, absolutely. Estimated shipping's April. You're going to launch in February, so
yeah,
you have a month to put everything together after the campaign's over.
It won't take that long because everything's being put together right now. But we're given a promise of April because I like to under promise, over deliver kind of thing. So you can expect that these books will actually wind up shipping. Probably, I hope to have everything. This is only 28 days. We're not doing any extensions. So as soon as I get a reasonable number, I know how many of everything I need to print. I'm actually going to send those orders off to the printers before the campaign ends. And usually it takes me about 2 weeks to get books because our printer is like right in our backyard, basically down here in Florida.
Gotcha.
And so we're going to, so we'll be able to get everything that we need sent to us and in hand by the time the money is released from Indiegogo. So as soon as the money is released from Indiegogo, we hope to have boxes packed and shipped and start shipping. So that's the plan.
That'd be the fastest turnaround I think any Indiegogo's ever had.
We're trying.
Justin's already wanting to make his hybrid a character that can control a puppet teddy bear to fight.
That would be fun. That would be fun. There's only 4 spots to get on that right now because we're that's all I've got available at the moment. But yeah.
And then here's that black cover that you're talking about. So it's $15 if you want to get the black cover. Only going to print 100 of these.
Yeah, only 100. And so I think actually the plan is to print 150. And so with the other options, like 150 is counted in. So
gotcha.
So when we get there, but once we get to 150, we're shutting off any of the tiers where you can get that. Those are really cool. A little more expensive, but they also have more pages. So there's it's a thicker book because all of the credits pages and everything has to be added in on the inside because you can't print a credits page on black paper. So
that makes sense. So you're getting the 2 pages, the inside of the covers basically, and the what are you going to put like the regular cover as the front facing?
Actually, no. I'm doing something unique so that it's specific to that book. There'll be it's kind of like a signing page or a sketch page where I can put where I can do a quick sketch or remark on the inside for people. So that's been a real popular thing.
That's going to be like a pretty a heavyweight cover too. It'll be very very stiff.
Yep. So, a nice collector's edition. Yeah. Exactly.
The bells and whistles. This is the cover with the sketch card. The trading card, of course, is always there, and the Chibi sticker for $20. Now, remember, $20 is what you're going to be able to get if you've signed up. You get much more than this.
Much more, yeah, absolutely.
So you want to do that. Here is the variant pack where you get the that's Kanan White's art, right?
No, that's Nitho Diaz.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's Lincoln.
Yeah, he's tremendous. He's worked for IDW. I first saw his work when he did the work on G.I. Joe. So.
Okay, and this is the black cover as well, and the trading card, $25.
Yep.
Yeah, it was $15 for just the black one already. So yeah. Get any of these is a good deal. There's nothing in here I'm like, I don't know, that might be a bit high, but no, this is all like this is yard sale prices, Luke. What are you doing?
I am trying to sustain making comics for myself and also for the fans. I want them to be able to get this stuff in their hands. They're
gonna be able to buy comics. That's
that's the idea.
This is your standard catch up. Now this is what we said before. So this is your $7 comic and your trade paperback that came before for $30.
And
the trading card.
Yeah, that was a $25 trade paperback on that level, and you get it for So basically, you're getting the new comic for $5.
Yeah,
when I ship that out. Yeah,
that's crazy good. The triple pack here, you get all 3 of the covers, including the black cover, and the trading card for $30.
Yeah, so you can get the variants for 25, or you can get all 3 for 30. So basically, again, if you buy the 2 variants, I'm throwing in the original cover for $5. Is basically how that works.
That's easy decision. Well, it's not an easy decision because they're all like I might as well just go pick the big ones. The Holy
Ghost, man, yeah.
I may have asked this the last time too, but since these are the descendants of the crossbreeding of angel and human, do you ever get back to the great grandparent ancestral roots with any of this, with the pure angel or pure fallen angels?
We do. That's some of the spin-off stuff that I'm working out. It takes a lot to do a 20 or 30 page comic book. So I want to be able to tell some of those other stories while I'm still telling this one. So we're breaking those off in like smaller 6 to 8 page stories so that we can start to tell some of those and get that lore out and start to expand that world without having to go into a full like 5-issue run of 30 page comics, so.
Sure. I'm hitting a theme this week now because I was just two nights ago I had on Bill Raup, who does Tribulation Task Force.
Okay, yeah, I'm familiar with him.
So he's got had a bunch of religious themed characters as well. Of course, his is set in a certain specific time period by nature of the story.
Yeah. I do try to tell people that this is not a religious comic book. If you're not into that, this is a comic book that happens to use this. But it's that theme that kind of comes from a lot of religious stuff. Now, I'm a pastor and I have some theological understanding, and so some of that does get in there. But this book is mostly allegorical, and it's just fun. I just want it to be fun to read, and then if you can peel away the layers, you can see some of the other stuff that's in there.
It treats some of the spirituality as mythology without saying it's all mythology.
It does, but what I really try to do is tie the spirituality into the mythology, to say that, look, the mythology was actually was inspired by the spirituality, and then we even like deal with, like, in issue 5, one of the characters is an atheist, and he has to reconcile the fact that his existence proves that there's angels, and if there's angels, there's a God, but he doesn't believe in any of that. So how does he reconcile that? So
they were aliens. I've actually seen that. People who think that these things we thought were angels were always aliens that keep coming to visit us from Nibiru. The whole Anunnaki thing, it's all...
Well, in this book, in this series, we actually argue that aliens are actually angels. Like, when you think that you've seen aliens, you've actually seen an angel. So
that they're making the same argument, but in the other direction.
Yeah. So we're pulling it all back to that linchpin verse in Genesis chapter 6. Yeah.
And we got this is the variant catch up, so you can get the trade paperback and the variant cover. We've seen the dad pack. This is just way too much cool stuff. Drawn in, we skipped that one.
Yeah.
So this is not become a character, but you do get to be in the book.
Yeah, and in part two of The Killing Field, which is being drawn now. This book is completely done. In fact, it's been lettered. It's gone. We're getting the first round of edits for the letters to send off probably tomorrow to the letterer. And so this is wrapping up. This one's done. But part 2 is not. We're still in the drawing phase. And towards the end, there's a scene where we've got a lot of faces. I've got a lot of faces to draw. So we're giving people an opportunity to get drawn into that.
So you could be one of these seriously wicked monks.
Yes. Yeah.
And you may die. So
most likely.
Yeah. I kind of, from what I read, I'm like, it's a bunch of seriously wicked monks attacking. You're going to end up on the floor.
Yeah.
And here's the swag pack. This is the subject to change if a pillowcase gets thrown in here.
We might add a pillow as a stretch goal. So.
Oh, that would be cool. That'd be a thing to do. Yeah.
Like if we hit a certain dollar amount, then we'll add a pillow to the swag pack. So
All right, throw money at it, people. Throw money at it. Aaron Burke says that on Stargate they are the Asgard and the Go. Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay. This is more different names for the.
for the same things. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then of course we ended with the become a hybrid. This is very cool because you're selling your likeness or you're buying your way into having your likeness used. You didn't sell it; you paid money.
Yeah. Well, it's if you're a fan of the series, if you like what's going on with it, it's an opportunity for you to be immortalized. And it's kind of a way for me to say thank you for supporting what we're doing. Danny has been a huge support of my art, my story, my series, and it's kind of a big thank you to him to be a part of the book. And it's neat to open up a book and see that you're based on a character. I recently just got the news that someone is writing a book and a character is based on me, and I'm like, really humbled by that. That's really cool, And so it's a neat opportunity to be able to kind of buy into the series and then have some ownership of it. It's like, hey, this is me. Look, this was me.
And if Luke does a really, really, really good job writing your character, you may become popular enough to spin off into your own series.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, very much so.
So, speaking of other series, is this is all you focus on? Is it the Hybrids universe, or do you do other things?
I do other things. I do Hybrids is kind of my longest running piece, but I do a lot of other short stories that are trying to turn into larger scopes. I'm working with a guy named Rob Anderson on a thing called Wolf and Fox, which is a really cool story about two superheroes. Like in this world, the superheroes are assigned districts to take care of her. They're kind of like police and detectives and stuff like that. But it's like, hey, you're assigned this city, and two particular superheroes that are assigned to a city called Jack City they're a divorced couple.
Oh,
and so they have to fight through their differences it's a good story. Rob's done a great job writing it, and so I'm drawing it, and it's coming out. Little pieces of that are coming out in the continuum that we're doing with the Terraform Comics. I also draw a book called Voodoo Nations. It's what I'm kind of working on now. We're more than halfway, more than 2/3 way finished with this second issue. And so it should launch sometime in February or March. So it's either mid-February or beginning of March is when this one's going to happen. So,
did you say Voodoo Nations?
Voodoo Nations, yes.
Okay, so again, another religious themed book, different religion entirely.
Yep. It's kind of fun. What we do is we follow two young missionaries who go to Brazil to try to help out, but their life gets completely turned upside down by this diabolically wicked voodoo priest named Bishop Lucas. And it takes them there. It's a world trekking series. We start out in Brazil, and then in issue 2 we go to New Orleans. We find our way down to Mexico, and then we eventually make our way back to Brazil, and to wrap up this series. So it's going to be a 4-issue series, and we're real excited about it. First issue had some great response from people, and this one's coming along really good. So,
Do you think you're probably going to launch that while Hybrids: The Killing Field is still active, or are you going to wait?
It depends on the creative team over there. So that one's released with Orange Cone Comics, and so they have a tendency to try not to overlap too much. But it's a full different audience. But again, the books are reasonably priced. It's like going, we're trying to make it to where it's like it's going to the comic book shop and buying 4 comics, but you're maybe getting 2 with like a lot of extras. So
yeah.
So we don't have a real worry, and that's why this is only 28 days, because this has got to be done so that we can launch the Continuum, and so that we can launch Voodoo Nations, and so that we can launch all that other stuff. So yeah.
Are these all? You said that's under a different imprint though than what Hybrids is.
Well, the Continuum is under the same imprint, Terraform Comics, which is a company that I co-own with Rob Anderson, Meredith Logren, Varian Grant, and Eric Hodson. So the 5 of us co-own that company. And so this is all under the same imprint there, but Voodoo Nations is under Travis Gibbs' imprint, which is called Orange Cone. So, yeah.
And I put the window in the background here, so I'm reading something here. Because Herwenberg asked how to find you on Twitter, and I'm putting your Twitter in there.
Yep. At Luke Stone Studios.
Yeah, but without the S.
Without the S. You can type in the S and it still shows up. So
does it? Well, good.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, it really does. So I tell them because that's at Luke Stone Studios is on every platform, and that's how you can find me.
I like that it's you kept everything cheap, and like you said, so that you could get that going to the comic store experience feel. That's what we're long-term goal is for crowdfunding books. I know that some retail markets don't like the crowdfunding because they feel like you're competing with them. But I know plenty of others that look at them and say, if I could have them on my shelf because they're so hard to find, I would be able to sell them.
Well, I offer retail discounts. So if there's a retailer that happens to watch the show, I offer a pretty steep retail discount for folks. We do exclusive store covers. So if like, hey, I want to have my own cover, I will work with you to get that done, whether that be to commission a certain artist or to do one myself. So we work with retailers because, retailers have been the lifeblood of the comics industry for a very long time. It started out on on newsstands and stuff like that. And I think that we should diversify and get back into some of those areas. But without the comic book store owner, we wouldn't. Where would we be? With comics.
Our plan is to if once we got the distribution or the fulfillment underway for overseas crowdfunders, and I have overstock available, for overships. Once I have 3, 4, 5 titles that I'm filling out, for in-demand stuff.
Yeah.
The plan is to approach comic shops and say, hey, this is what I've got in hand right now on this side of the ocean. Hard to get independent import comics. And if you want some, you can buy several different titles and they get shipped in one box rather than each one being shipped separately. So you can get 2 of this, 1 of that, 3 of those, one ship rate, and all the money goes back to the various creators. And I just make money on the shipping, which is all I want to do.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great idea.
But that's, down the road, let's, get the shipping thing going first.
Yeah.
That's where it leads.
So you're saying you're not ready to do that tomorrow? Then.
Not ready. Well, I don't have anything here to do it with. I've got to actually, we get the campaigns up and running. So people who are wanting to get their ship rates from the UK or Australia or Canada down to the same shipping rates that, people are paying for something that get made in America.
Yeah.
You got to contact me before your campaign goes up so that we can work out and estimate what you should put down in your shipping. So Indiegogo doesn't tell people that it's $30 or $20.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to work out some kind of arrangement for people to ship my books over there. So I haven't had a lot of luck yet, but I think we're getting closer.
Yeah, somebody's got to set up a hub like we're doing. You got to have a hub inside the country so you can just drop ship everything to them.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier to send 1 box than it is to send 100.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot cheaper too.
Yeah. So to answer the question, retailers in my area, I see that there was asked. Thanks. I would say in my particular area where I go, man, there's so many good retailers, but my favorite and there's 2 of them in Jacksonville that I like to go to. One is Gotham City Limit, and the other one is Mythical Mountain, and they are probably a good 40 minutes away from each other because Jacksonville's pretty big. So, and then I like Kingdom of Comics down in Melbourne, and then I really like the Collective right outside of Orlando. So those are kind of my favorite shops in Florida right now. So definitely check those out.
Are you have you had the opportunity to take any of your hybrids books to conventions, or did?
Yeah, actually I have, and they usually do really well at conventions. I think the concept interests people. When I first started this, I didn't really think that people were going to like the idea. I thought it was going to be and someone talked me into doing the first issue, and we'll see where it went from there. But enough people liked it and they got on board with it that it made sense to keep doing it. And so now here I am. I'm 6 issues in, of something that I didn't think anyone was going to like. You know,
you never know what's going to catch on with somebody.
Yeah.
You just have that one spark that strikes a chord in people, and next thing you know, you're stuck making a popular franchise.
Well, you know, this wasn't even my main book at the time when I started doing this. My main book was a story called Worst Day Ever. And I'd worked with a writer. I had this concept. I gave him some blog posts. I did these like weird blog posts called Worst Day Ever. And I gave him those things, and he kind of built a 12-issue arc off of it. And we were 2 issues in, working on the 3rd issue. That was kind of the main book that I was working on. And at the company we were at, we needed a superhero-like book. And I was like, well, I got this sci-fi story that kind of fits the superhero thing. It's a little more superhero than some other sci-fi stuff. You know, it's about these people that get powers because of, you know, they're the ancestors of the Nephilim. And they're like, well, that sounds cool. So we talked about it, and they said, well, write it and draw and make an issue so we can have something to release. And so we did that one issue, and it outsold my other book by a lot, by like almost triple. And I'm like, this sucks. I'm like, I really wanted to tell this story, but I wanted, you know, I thought this one was going to be my moneymaker over here. And people are like, it's not really my thing. And I'm like, this just, okay, well, let's switch gears. Let's do it.
Go with where the money is. And how long ago did you do that? Because we got the question here in the chat. How long you've been working on it?
Well, so I started developing the idea for hybrids probably about 12 years ago, 11, 12 years ago now at this point. And it was one of those things where the conversation started. I used to have this pastor friend that I worked with, and we would just, after we would do youth group on a Wednesday night, we would hang out and just play video games and eat the leftover junk food and stuff. And we would talk. And one of the things we would always talk about is like these weird things in the Bible. And so we would always bring up, and kind of one of our ongoing conversations was about Genesis chapter 6 and all of those things. And eventually like all those weird theories, and we would come back with our different ideas. And he goes, Luke, this would make a really good comic book. And he goes, I know you love comic books. You should do it. You should make a comic book of it. So I started to develop it seriously while I did other things, because I didn't want to do it and suck at it. So I kind of saved it, and I worked on other things until I felt like I was a little bit better.
Yeah, I love finding things that were like mentioned and then just kind of glossed over and walked away from.
Yeah.
I was talking with Bill the other night. It's like, that you've got this verse in the New Testament here that's dealing with the resurrection. And, it's like, and the stone was rolled away, and the angel came down, and Jesus walked out. And there were some other people who came back from the dead too, but we're not going to talk about them, because here's the story we're really talking about. I'm like, no, wait a minute. You got other people who were walking around who were dead the other day, and they're alive now. I want to know more about this.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't as important as the main thing. It's like, oh yeah, that happened too, but you should have saw this other thing that happened.
Exactly. And I'm like, there's some stories to be told there. Maybe not 2,000-year-old lifespan stories, but
yeah. So the first issue of Hybrids was actually released in 2016, 2017. Yeah, 2016. Issue 2 was ready to go in like 2017, really. And the company I was with, we closed down. We weren't able to keep things going. And then I moved over to Starcross Comics, which is how I know Bill. So I moved over to Starcross Comics, and I was there for a while, and released up through issue 5 with them. And then this last year during the pandemic, I got this idea to start a company. I found some other people that really kind of had some similar ideas to what I did, and wanted to kind of build something around quality and developing new creators and getting higher quality content out to fans faster. And so we started Terraform Comics. And you were you crowdfunding the comics before Terraform, or were you just direct printing them? We did some crowdfunding for issue 1 when it was under Tenacious Comics, and I did some light crowdfunding for the other ones, but I took about 2 years off. And so issue 2 never went to crowdfund. And I think issue 3 went, but I didn't have any traction with it, so it got me a couple $100. I think $340 is what I raised for that one. And so I just paid for the rest of it out of pocket, doing all that stuff. The issue 4 started to take off. And so I was able to raise, a little more than double that. But issue 5, something happened because we crowdfunded that at the beginning of, right at the beginning of the pandemic. It was over March. It was in March. So about this time, a little later than this time last year. And something happened and word got out and it went nuts. Like I had double the backers. I made triple the money on that one. I was like, wow, this is, it really gave me fresh energy to pour back into the series. And
well, you know what happened? You fulfilled.
I fulfilled, yeah.
You fulfilled your first project. I keep seeing this with people when they fulfill their first project and their second project, the more you fulfill and the more you do it on time, the more people that draws to your next campaign.
Well, the group I'm working with now, we've got more than 25 successfully funded and fulfilled projects under our belt. So between the 5 of us.
And that's going to continue to breed success. Of course, as soon as you fall down, then it's all going to just crumble. They're going to blame you.
Yeah, of course. I'm waiting for it. It'll happen.
It'll happen. So this is going to launch Monday, folks. If you haven't signed up already, be sure that you do that. The link for the sign-up page, the page you're looking at now, is the page you're going to see on February. The link to the sign-up page is in the description below. It's the very first thing you see. If you're watching this after February 1st, forget about, well, you know what? It'll refer you. I've seen that happen. It will bump you right over to the regular page. So go ahead and do that.
Yep.
But if you're still seeing this before February 1st, sign up so that you can get that ultra cool everything in one kind of packet for $20. Run over real quick again what they're getting with that, because I have forgotten.
Okay, so they're going to get the cover B, the Nitho Diaz cover. They're going to get the trading card. They're going to get the chibi sticker. They're going to get a sketch card, and they're also going to get a hollow foil print of Nitho's cover of his artwork. And so you're going to get all of that for $20. And if you sign up and you buy it in the first 24 hours, you will also get the chlorine print for free. So that gets thrown in with your order. Anybody that orders physical copy on the first day gets that print.
Excellent. All right. Well, Luke, is there anything else about the launch here that I should know or should tell people that I didn't ask about?
I don't think so. It's only 28 days. Like, there will be no extensions. So it's important that we fund this thing right away.
Okay, so don't be waiting around for the back 30. There is no back 30. This is get in, get out, get done.
Yeah, we've got cool stretch goals already in place. So the first stretch goal is going to be a patch. So you get a Hybrid Engineering Corporation patch for the first stretch goal. The second one is going to be a hollow foil trading card, extra hollow trading card that's going to get thrown in for everybody. And then the third one is we're going to do a larger poster of the Nitho Diaz cover. And so we've got 3 stretch goals planned, and we're working on a 4th. So
awesome. So that sounds like you got everything planned, ready to go, and well in hand. This is just waiting for you to press the button and go. So, Luke, appreciate you being on the show. Love talking with hybrids. Can't wait to see this one successfully fund, which I have every confidence it's going to. You're on an upward track with everything. And we want to thank everybody in the chat for showing up, because we don't have a show without you. It's not worth anybody's time to come on and tell us about their comic if you're not here to talk to and push to. So thank all of you here. And we will be back tomorrow night with Simon Potier. And then Friday we will have, I can't say her name yet. So we're going to have a special guest who's new to all the crowdfunding stuff. You'll want to come in for Friday. Friday will be good. And then Saturday, of course, is our every 2 weeks, the LCS guys, where we will have Jason Hunt from sci-fi4me.tv as our special guest host. Until then, thank you for coming, and we hope you had a blast.